Welcome to Accountants Law Pod, where accounting professionals and law firms converge. Hosted by Linda Artisani, Sarah Prevost, and Steven Libhart.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Hi, Steve. I've missed you.
Hi, Sarah. I've missed you too. I'm having Sarah withdrawal.
Sarah
and Linda withdrawals.
I felt that way actually on this one because we hadn't seen each other for a couple weeks, and I know that you've been busy traveling, and we were busy traveling as well. So
I just got back from a bluegrass concert in Colby, Kansas. Out on the name of the bluegrass festival was Pitkin on the Plains. I mean, if you can imagine. It was great. And then I leave next week for another event, the summer solstice at a music festival in Rangeley, Colorado. So nice. It's been busy already.
Yeah. We were in San Diego at a conference, Carbon Next, actually. So what's interesting about that is it's a great practice management tool. And they have some crossover with some Clio-esque style because some of the Clio individuals
do they? Okay.
Also participate on that board. So it's pretty neat.
Nice.
It was definitely, let me see here. It was very agenda-esque in the sense of like a lot of AI roadmap information. It's balanced with, yoga, walk, run. You pick your group.
Oh, cool.
Do those things. But it was definitely like an kind of an architecture form of what does AI look like in our everyday lives right now.
Chaos.
Yeah, chaos. Well, and the other big thing too is kind of our topic today on advisory services 101 and how AI has impacted our profession and how it's evolving this profession and what does it look like for us in these roles essentially. So it was an interesting.
I was sharing that story with you before we started recording. I sat next to a person the other day whose job is repairing those beverage machines in fast food restaurants, where you get all the beverages come out of one place.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that the AI is in those machines. They're putting programs in there that AI manages. And if the machine has a challenge, something is is not functioning correctly, it can diagnose itself and order the part and have it shipped to the restaurant. And then they're training the managers in these restaurants to use the key to open the door on the machine and change the part themselves, therefore not needing these repair people to drive around anymore and fix the machines. And I thought, oh wow, who does that? I mean,
who's
everywhere.
Who's cleaning the machine?
I think they do in the restaurant.
Yeah, but who also, there's cleaning that needs to happen more than just your standard, right?
Right.
Who also is looking at all the other components because there's only so much, which I feel like this is a great sort of segue into the topic of advisory, or what I look at through the lens of a trusted individual, trusted partner for a business. You could have tools in place to do things, but who's double checking it? Who's ensuring that its health and barometer is intact? Who challenges it and understands how to challenge it?
Right.
Like that repair person. Okay, so maybe components of the job changes, but that person's still valuable because they have the longevity and history of how this particular machine goes. It's not going to diagnose a compressor going out.
Well, and you shared with me, a relative of yours said that in an IKEA they went to, there no longer are employees checking you out. It's all computerized, and which is AI. And I go a step further with this beverage machine example. So let's say they finally get they don't use human beings to take your order anymore in the fast food restaurant. It's all done AI and computerized. Who is going to AI can't go over and unlock that machine and fix it.
Yeah.
So, there's these confusing things. There's so much confusion with AI right now.
Yeah.
And what does what and who does what and how it's going to happen
and the price, and are you effectively managing it well? Is it integrated well? Is it
or is it all trial and error? Is it the Wild West,
Yeah, it is definitely. I feel in some ways it is. In other ways, I feel like it's if you are the right person in the right seat, it can be a good partner. It
Correct.
does need to be challenged. It's definitely a yes sir kind of uh
Telling you what you want to hear.
yeah type of thing. But I feel like the role of what we see, and we were saying this earlier, we see so many things. We're business owners ourselves. We have a specialized attribute of accounting and the profession. We have a bird's eye view of how many other firms do things. Not that we're trying to make everyone look the same, because every firm has a different
They're all different, right?
cadence. So, how do you become that trusted source and that individual who you can basically get through the noise of what's being presented to you? And I feel like that's going to be a truthful moment for us as we move ahead and understanding, okay, so we don't have to labor over what might have taken days for us to compile a set of metrics, but ensuring does that metric align correctly? Is it right? Is it right for this firm? Is it helping this person move forward what they want to move forward? And in the advisory role, a lot of times, and I'm sure you feel this way, Steve. So I'd be loved to hear what your points are. But my sense is we've become a sounding board. We've become a trusted kind of listening individual in the sense of like, okay, I have these questions. I'm not sure how to put these thoughts together. What do you see in my numbers? How can you help guide me? There's so much available in the trusted advisory level.
We talked about this before we started recording, and I think this is a great way to segue in. Gone are the days in our industry where you just generate the numbers and send the reports. And, you might follow up or you might not follow up. I strongly encourage people now, send those reports and then follow up with the client. And even if they say, I'm too busy or what have you, still follow up with them, show them that you're concerned, that you care. And there's many, many things, a Pandora's box of things that can be opened up to show them that you are really entrenched in their business, because we see the back end of that business operating. They see the high level numbers and what makes sense to them and what might not make sense to them. And, they quite often think, well, the accountant took care of it. I'm safe. Everything's wonderful. But, there's things that you can open up like cash flow forecasting, letting them know that you're their outsourced CFO, that you are valuable to the firm. You should be put in, even though we're out here in the world, we're not in the office.
Yeah, yeah.
We should be considered senior financial leadership in the law firms. We can bring new implementation for workflows and the correct accounting software, bill payment softwares, all those sorts of things that we know about that they may not.
Yeah.
Getting them ready for mergers and acquisitions, due diligence, complex transaction reviews, loans, maybe buying a building, all these things, benchmarking. All these things can come into play that we can open that box and take a subject out at a time.
Can we go back to the apps, the different apps?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I feel that
you're the app queen.
Well, it's interesting because the world of all of these apps, right? And what's going to work well for your business is evolving as it is now. Because we all saw it. Now it's 4 years since AI has really come into existence. And what are we seeing now? We're seeing basically in every tool in some form, some kind of AI application. And so what I'm thinking of in the advisory space is which ones have done it well and what does their roadmaps look like in that evolution of testing that app as it moves forward. And which ones are, as I've seen recently, I've been inundated with one particular app that ironically, just this morning, I was sitting on, I sit on a council board for an app, and I opened the door to this question of like, what is the comparison between this product and that? And I got a great overview of what the differences were. And it strongly really leaned into what I had. My hunch was it's great marketing. Does it do it the way it says currently in its full stack? No.
Right.
Um,
Well,
it,
we how many times have we said there's no one size fits all?
there isn't. And where do you put your time and your money, especially with migration of information? And when we're looking at firms that are legacy firms that need to move off of antiquated systems or have moved into a system, and we've seen this a lot. My paralegal mentioned this was great. And so we moved into it and we're using that much of it and hate it because
Right.
we didn't adopt it or it doesn't actually fit us. It's not working for us. Or it's easy. I've seen this true. I'm sure you've seen this as well. It's true within staff. It's change is hard, so we're not going to really adopt it. We're going to already poo-poo it and like, it's not going to work well for us. And that's challenging because really, I mean, it's a lot of money and time that gets spent evolving into this. And so you really have to help an owner. Our roles from accounting have gone to like such extreme uniqueness. Um, to your point, we're managing numbers, we're looking at data, we can answer fiscal pieces and benchmarking and so forth. But we really have to adopt a further operational view. And what to a human scale view is does this look like? And what key adoptions do you need to make with certain apps? Or what is it that you have currently that needs to be retooled? Our advisory roles are shifting.
They are. Well, you know how much I love KPIs, and I think about this quite often. We can put a labor cost KPI into
Mm-hmm.
AI and have it tell us what it sees. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Because I have the same
No,
grimace you
I'm
have.
thinking like you're
But
thinking. Mhm.
but the owner could read that and go, okay, well, my labor cost is high and move on with their day. But if we're not in their face telling them this is what could happen
Mhm.
if you continue to grow or not grow in the way you've been going, maybe it's a downturn right now, but you've got this labor cost that's where it's at.
Mhm.
I just don't see AI coaching people that way and having the same impact as a face-to-face
Yeah.
human interaction would. That's one example right there.
Well, what you could do is if you were to flip it around, there would be ways that you as this individual who has the numbers and the understanding, be able to ask it and help it formulate and retool so that the dashboard view of what this looks like could be a contextual conversation you have with this business owner to understand, okay, this is what we're seeing, this is the metrics, here's some areas that we can look at. Let's go back and sort of what are your goals? What is it that you're looking to do?
What does this mean to you? What
What
do
does
you
it
want to
mean
do
to
with
you?
it?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's blind spots and positivity in both segments. What I feel like you can take away from it is a partnership. So basically, it's just like a tool in a tool belt. It's a partnership.
Correct.
I wouldn't, in my purview of working, and I'm sure you're the same way, is we wouldn't go in and start asking it all this legal jargon and then pretend that, oh yeah, that makes sense to us, so we're just
Correct.
fine with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Because we've all seen what it's done to that, even with the smartest people using it, and it still spits out things that you question, right? It's a tool. I do feel though, in the advisory services role for us, is we will have to take steps in a different way to because the field is changing, right? It's changing a lot. So I feel like we're gonna just have to take steps in a way that it doesn't. We just have to look at it through a lens of the partnership and not this overarching taking my job away.
Correct.
How do I work with it? How does it help me? The difference is, again, we're the expert in what we know, so we know how to challenge it. Nobody else has that that's outside this profession.
Well, and in many ways, try to think of this crazy wacko idea I'm going to tell you right now,
Okay.
or scenario.
Okay.
We are you and I sitting here right here today. We're mini AIs
Mm-hmm.
because we touch so many different businesses from where we sit. And we are this database of information and experience for our clients that is true. It's not a subjective thing or not subjective thing coming out of a AI program. Number one, telling you what you want to hear, or number two, just spitting out the answers.
Yeah.
And you still have to sort through them and filter them and have them make sense to you. We are live AI, if you will, follow up. And we need to train our attorneys, on what they should be asking us about.
Yeah.
Meet with
Thank
us.
you. I was just curious about that too, what your thoughts are, because there are things that we're left out when we're left out of the conversation, and a new individual is, brought in as a consultant, and you're sort of like, what happened? Why did that decision get made?
Right.
Over this decision?
And why didn't you include me?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I understand we're all busy. It feels even more hectic at times, at certain intervals of the volume, the work, just the general working sense. But if at bare minimum, we have a way to have a quarterly moment where we can touch base, or if it's a monthly, or, hey, I do this. I do a mind dump. This is what's been on my mind here. I'm just going to put this out here. If you were to send that over, volley that over, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, okay, great. This is helpful insight. What are your numbers saying to me? What is it that you're thinking about? And coming up with a plan to understand. And then maybe when we come back together, that meeting agenda is super tight because it's very finite. And it's like, of the things you brought to my attention, and it could just be, these are the top level things I've got in my brain. I just want to move past, or a Loom video, whatever you want to send over.
Sure.
Helps us understand. Because Steve, you've said this, you've worked with clients where they work with you, but then they'll strategically bring you in because maybe it's a 401k, or a partner needs to leave, or
I have a great example that just happened.
Needs to move on.
It just happened. I was so excited about this.
Tell me.
There's a big banking company that's merging with another one right now.
Okay.
And the big banking company, for all of you people that do accounting work out there, you probably know who I'm talking with, starts with an F, and they do a terrible job. Their bank feeds break all the time. They don't handle trust accounts correctly. It's a giant mess. And they're merging with another banking company. And fortunately, one of my clients, a big one, at the same time was like, no, we don't want a bank like that anymore. We need something more personable. We need something where we can really get attention when we need it. And I'm like, I've got the bank for you, but I happened to jump in after I found out. They didn't tell me they were going to switch banks until they already had the ball rolling. And so I said, these are the two banks I recommend, and this is why. And this is the one I really want you to go to. And they didn't have the best experience personally at a branch when they just walked in and wanted to talk about the accounts. And I said, that's not the way to do it. I picked up the phone and called the senior vice president of the bank. And I said, this law firm needs your services. Go. Because I have that relationship with that bank over many years. And I know to go right to the top when something needs to be done with an account like this particular one.
Yeah.
Long story short, they ended up going with that bank. And I was like, hallelujah, because it's make a huge difference for them in how they can spend less time dealing with the bank and more time practicing law. And on the back end, we can get cleaner data quicker, and the bank feeds aren't going to break all the time.
Yeah.
So
that
example of that personal touch that a machine like AI couldn't have done for them, but advisory service here I was, and I was able to move them through that process in about a week. So it took a lot more time, but guess what? It's going to have a backdoor effect on the type of work that we do for them.
Yeah.
It's going to be cleaner, quicker, and a lot less time struggling with the existing bank.
Well, and you have to look at it. I mean, it's the here and the now. So we've been all working with it in some format, in some way. So I feel like what we do is, how do we use it to our advantages of support in, their models are shifting, practices are shifting, and how compensation is working, and how information gets disseminated and who's doing what and how it all flows together. And so, to your point, it's where the relationships that are strongest, which would be people in these key roles ourselves, and how to navigate this space. And I feel like in these roles, we can help with, like the example, this bank change, right? This moment of, and, sure, you could go query. And as it is now in all browsers, what do we
Right.
have? Our AI friends are in our browsers, so it's going to tell you. But how do you know? How do
How do you
you
know?
contextually have the experience?
Right.
So, and it's similar in the sense of like we've been working together for some time. How does this rebalance? How do we move into a space? And maybe there are accounting firms out there that don't even have these types of relationships. So, how do you move into the space? Because
How do you develop that relationship at the bank? And
Mhm.
that's what we're here to help with.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's look at another one. This is a very
Yeah.
incestuous industry, the legal industry. Attorneys are always hopping from one place to another. There's a high volume of that goes on.
Yeah.
And how many times have you seen a solo attorney then join a mid-sized firm, or partner up with another solo attorney and so on?
Mm-hmm.
Again, because we're the trusted advisors here, we can walk you through the pitfalls and the, you know, things to watch out for and to avoid and all of that as you move into that new arena.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a solo attorney, you didn't really have to worry a lot about labor cost. You probably paid yourself when you paid yourself,
Yeah.
whereas when you start partnering up and, if you end up in an eat what you kill situation type firm, or if you're trying to grow into one that's more of a business model of salaries and, set salaries and things like that, we can definitely advise and walk you along through all the nuances of that. What type of corporation should you be, and when should you switch from an LLC to an S corp and do payroll, and all of those things that we can personally advise on that you're not going to get again
Why we give
from an AI.
guidance. I mean, ultimately, your tax professional does the other side of it,
And
and
they
that
do the
goes
other
into the
side of that,
tax
right?
planning, right? Because your entity structure needs to fit. There's so many variations in that,
And it changes all the time.
and that advice would definitely be a tax person, but conversations about what does it look like, how does it work, like how does payroll work in something like this? Okay, well, I can explain it to you, but does that fit you?
Right.
If you ask point blank some of these questions, and there's tools out there that, any of the AI tools, you can ask it any questions, do these searches, but it's kind of like when we went back and had, it was so sad, but you had the Yelp ratings and the Amazon
Oh,
ratings,
right.
and then you're kind of like, how authentic are these? And then you find out bots are creating ratings like that. You have to sift through that noise
Yeah.
and how to understand it. So I do feel that the role of who we are there's such a deficit in the number of accountants in general are
Correct.
available, from bookkeeping all the way up, right? And with that is going to be probably another wash of change because it is hard to navigate these tools, the costs associated with it, how to become that individual that you can advise and seek out and be relevant. And so, with all of these changes, there's so much opportunity. And I guess that's kind of what I'm saying is what used to be, we were so pressed upon for years, like almost 10 years, be the advisor, be the advisor. No one understood what that meant. To me, it's being that trusted partner. I have relationships. Accounting is a service, right? But the it goes beyond that when you have the partnership, right? And when you look at what I was going to say earlier is when you look at businesses that scale and like, oh, I'm one person to 500 servicing. Yeah, but are you advising them? How
Right.
relevant is that?
Right.
It's the same thing. Like, I don't know. I'm just going to use it at eye doctor for a minute. There's a plethora of eye doctors out there. I could go to any one of them, but is somebody going to understand my my metric of like what my eye health is and like what I've been down that road? No, I'm looking for that trusted person I've been seeing over and over because I
Correct.
know that they can help me. I
And
know that
they're going to advise you human to human. They
well,
are
and
your
they're not going
trusted
to waste
advisor for
my
your eyes.
time, right?
Right.
They're not going to, I'm just using it as an example of like so many things because you hear it and it's coming through in loud ways in so many ways. But I do think, Steve, this has been such a healthy conversation about how do we move into this role? What are the tools that we can use? Your example of the bank thing was awesome. And
Thank you.
how do we even, like, what's the next step? Maybe we have to do a part two to this.
Maybe we do. I mean, I shared with you a software that I came across this morning. I learned about this morning
Yeah.
that helps accountants with cleanup work on, accounting files. And in the AI that they use, they mask the name of the client. So let's say you're a law firm that needs a cleanup and you hire, you use this software through an accountant. The name is masked, but your vendors and customers and all that are not masked in the AI. And I'm like, well, right there, that just stops me. That's not cool. I would rather, especially on a cleanup,
Hmm.
there's so many things that come out on a cleanup that are highly confidential. And especially with trust accounting and lawyers and things like that, that I just, I like different tools that I can use, but not one that is so deep into the business and has all that data. To me, it reminds me of all the stories we've read about attorneys who go out and have their briefs written by AI and then get in trouble when they go to court. We even had a guest that we discussed that situation with, but
Mhm.
got to be careful, folks. I mean, your
Well,
trusted advisor, which is us, we
yeah.
are confidential. We are human. We are going to share with you what we see. Again, we should be a senior financial person in your firm, even though we're not on the payroll of the firm. We're
Mhm.
still here. You pick up the phone and call us. The
Well,
trip I was just on, I got called by 2 clients. I sat down and got their information. It's
here's the thing though. Here's what's interesting to me. What you're saying is we I don't whether we're in the firm or not, like we're a partner to you as a client.
correct.
You're a client and it's a partnership. I've always said that. And we sit in a very treasured spot in the sense of we have an agnostic view. We have a view that we don't Tira said this really well, and I can't remember the key words, but we are not in there for our selfish reasons. We're in
Correct.
there to be a partner and help and advise you. Our tools are our tools. I feel strongly about that, just as yours are. But to your point, is what you utilize and how you utilize it and what you're going to do. As a firm owner, that's something you need to kind of examine through. I don't want to say one tool's better over another because every practical application has its means and needs for it. We have a lot of colleagues out there that examine these and like rate these and give their opinion. I just feel that what you do as in your role as this individual is we are in a space that we just have to listen and guide and filter through the noise and make sure that whatever tools we're using is laying this out as cleanly as possible.
Well, and
Um,
if you're a bookkeeper or an accountant out there who is an introvert, because we have a lot of people in this industry that are introverts, and you're listening to this and you're like, okay, now I really have to go to this next level or should go to this next level as the trusted advisor. And here's a lot of ideas we've given you today.
mhm,
Don't become overwhelmed with them. Just dip your toe in the water one
mhm,
at a time. Pick up the phone and call them, follow up on those reports. What do they mean to you, Mr. Attorney? How can I help you with this information? How can we
mhm,
disseminate this? And what would be something you'd want me to focus on for the next time we meet?
mhm,
And
mhm.
start
Yeah,
that dialogue that way, and you'll
yeah,
be amazed how much fun you'll have with it.
yeah. To me, it's human relationships.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
been. Um, I, I love I like when someone is interested in doing business with me and I'm interested in doing business with them. And a lot of people I work with, clients, I'm really invested and interested in what it is that they're doing, what their lives look like.
Yeah.
My professional colleagues, I feel the same way, like with you and people that I just saw recently. I'm like, oh, what's going on in your life?
Well, I'm glad you said that, because after this episode, I'm replacing me on the podcast with an AI agent. Just thought you'd want to know.
No, yeah, that's not happening. So we'll conclude with that, friends. Thank you
We'll
so
conclude
much.
with that. Great conversation today.
It is.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to like, share, and leave a quick review. It's the easiest way to help other accountants and attorneys find our little corner of the podcast world. And while you're at it, hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Do you have a question or a topic that you'd love us to cover? Drop us a line at info@accountantslawpod.com, send us a message through our website, accountantslawpod.com, or leave us a comment on any of our socials. Your idea might just make it into a future episode. And if you really want to go beyond listening, consider sponsoring an episode and get your company in front of our growing community of accounting and legal professionals who love learning, laughing, and leveling up. And as always, don't forget to join the conversation inside the Accountants Law Lab Mastermind group at accountantslawlab.com, where collaboration meets inspiration every week.
Well,
Do you know who our trusted advisor is? It's Tiara.
it is
She
true.
keeps us so organized and tells us what to do and how to do it and why. And she's awesome.
Yeah. And I don't have to figure out what questions to ask to figure that out.
Right.
You just can do
Right.
it. So thank you.
Oh,
Tia.
there goes a little heart up the
Yeah.
screen.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.